The ticket price. This does not shock me at all. What did I say earlier? The WNBA was about to F around and find out, and these rival teams were going to be in a lot of trouble. Well, they're finding
the light. For a brief moment, it felt like the Women's National Basketball Association had finally broken through its long-standing ceiling. Crowds were growing, tickets were selling out, viewership numbers were climbing, and the excitement surrounding women's basketball was spreading across living rooms, social media, and national broadcasts. It seemed like everything had finally clicked after years of fighting for attention and recognition. But then, almost instantly, the mood shifted. A simple headline announced that a major player would be out for a few weeks. No dramatic statement, no major injury report, just a quick update. Yet that single piece of news triggered an unexpected chain reaction. Ticket sales slowed, engagement dropped, and merchandise momentum stalled. What had looked like a thriving movement suddenly showed signs of vulnerability, almost like a towering structure beginning to wobble after one brick was removed. In that moment, a difficult question emerged. Was the league's explosive growth truly the result of long-term progress, or had it been fueled primarily by the presence of one extraordinary superstar, such as Caitlin Clark? The sudden dip in momentum suggested that much of the league's recent surge might be tied closely to a single name, placing the WNBA in an uncomfortable position and raising concerns about how stable its future growth might really be.
Caitlin Clark effect has been a net positive for the WNBA and all of its teams, but the star guard expected to miss a minimum of 2 weeks. The league will see the flip side of her impact, and there are already initial data points. This is front office sports, no conspiracies, no BS from them. Statistical.
Before the rumors about her possible absence even started, the Women's National Basketball Association was riding an incredible wave of momentum. Every game featuring the Indiana Fever had turned into a must-see event, with courtside seats skyrocketing in price and regular tickets selling out quickly, sometimes costing over $80 just for entry. The excitement wasn't just media hype, it was real, electric, and impossible to ignore. Teams across the league began adjusting their strategies to capitalize on the surge in demand. One of the boldest moves came from the Chicago Sky, who decided to relocate their matchup against the Fever from the much smaller Wintrust Arena, which holds about 2,400 fans for certain setups, to the massive United Center, a venue built for NBA crowds with a capacity of around 21,000. It was a huge gamble, essentially betting that the star power of Caitlin Clark could fill nearly every seat in the building. The decision made one thing clear. Everyone knew exactly who the fans were coming to see.
The panic button 48 hours after news hits that Caitlin Clark is injured and she'll be missing 2 weeks. The market has responded, and the market has told the WNBA, we don't want this. We want her.
Then everything changed. What started as a small rumor quickly exploded into widespread headlines. Caitlin Clark would be sidelined. The atmosphere that had propelled the Women's National Basketball Association forward instantly disintegrated. The reaction wasn't gradual, it was immediate. The market responded with stark clarity. Without Clark, the league suddenly felt less significant. The once electric energy turned silent, disappointing organizers and fans alike. Ticket prices, which had started at $86 for a highly anticipated game between the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever at the massive United Center, plummeted overnight to barely $25, a staggering 71% drop that devastated those who had bet on a sellout. The effect wasn't limited to Chicago. When the Fever played the Washington Mystics on the road, the same pattern repeated. Reduced ticket rates, empty seats, and a harsh reminder that the league's momentum was dangerously tied to the presence of a single superstar. This wasn't an isolated incident. It was a wake-up call that could not be ignored.
Those guys can't sell out their own 9,000-something seat arena like it is. They couldn't when they were kind of decent. They're a dumpster fire now. And now that Caitlin Clark is injured, the ticket prices for the Fever and Sky game just plummeted to Hades.
What had once been a popular ticket priced at $41 quickly lost its appeal, dropping to just $22, a staggering 47% decline that left fans and box offices alike stunned. Zooming out to see the bigger picture over a longer period, the trend was even clearer. The average ticket price for 5 key Indiana Fever games had been climbing steadily, reaching nearly $137. But after news of Caitlin Clark's absence broke, that average plummeted to $80, a harsh 42% drop that vividly demonstrated how dependent the market was on a single player. This wasn't a minor dip in fan interest. It was a loud, unmistakable message. People came to see Clark, not just the WNBA in general. The excitement that usually electrified arenas vanished before games even began, as if someone had released the air from the stadiums. Beneath the league's surge in popularity lay a delicate truth. Its momentum wasn't being driven by widespread interest in the league itself, but by the presence of one irrepressible superstar.
They stink now. Yeah, it's about me too. No, it's not.
This went far beyond a superstar missing a few games. It shone an unflinching spotlight on the WNBA's most critical vulnerabilities. The numbers were stark and undeniable, proving what many had quietly suspected. The league's momentum was overwhelmingly dependent on Caitlin Clark. She is more than just a player. She drives attendance at packed arenas, fuels viral social media moments, and creates the excitement that makes ticket sales soar. For years, these surges had been taken as evidence that women's basketball was finally entering a new era, gaining the recognition it long deserved. But the sudden drop when Clark was sidelined revealed a heartbreaking truth. Almost all of that momentum rested on a single generational talent. Without her, the league not only loses energy and ticket demand but also its identity, highlighting the absence of a deep roster of equally marketable stars who can sustain excitement long-term. The WNBA's challenge isn't solved by highlight reels or viral clips. It lies in cultivating a broader base of talent that can carry the league forward when its singular superstar is off the court.
Games over the next 2 weeks have dropped 42% since Caitlin Clark's injury announcement, an average ticket price of $137, all the way down to $80.
It was an unavoidable reality check for the Women's National Basketball Association. The sudden impact of Caitlin Clark's brief absence raised serious questions about the actual strength of the league's foundation. This wasn't just a matter of 1 or 2 games underperforming. It exposed cracks in the WNBA's entire commercial strategy. Ticket sales, fan excitement, and the league's broader financial prospects all took a hit. Even marquee matchups, like the Chicago Sky versus Indiana Fever game, which had symbolized the WNBA's recent resurgence, suddenly lost their appeal. Rows of empty seats replaced the previously electrified arenas, and the buzz that had drawn casual admirers evaporated. This wasn't a normal star injury scenario where fans continue to show up out of habit or loyalty. It was a clear sign that the league had over-relied on a single superstar. Without Clark, the enchantment that her presence brought to the WNBA dissipated, leaving teams scrambling to maintain relevance in the quiet void she left behind.
People are selling their tickets, definitely can't get face value, so what do? They just continue to lower and lower and lower and lower and lower the price. This isn't all resellers, folks. Hate to break it to you. A majority of these are everyday normal people. A majority of these are everyday normal people who watch Caitlin Clark in Iowa, watch her in her first year in Indiana, said, man, I want to watch that. I want to go to those games. I want to experience that. They won't be able to experience it.
Even after Caitlin Clark stepped out of the spotlight, fan interest didn't fade. It simply shifted, landing squarely on Angel Reese. Many viewed her as the next era's defining figure. Already a household name, Reese had built a powerful off-court brand fueled by her charisma, bold personality, and trend-setting style. She was more than just a player. She was a cultural influencer whose audacious claims, like insisting that people tuned into the WNBA because of her swagger and confidence, kept her constantly in the headlines. After losing its biggest star, the league looked to Reese to generate the same kind of excitement, sellout crowds, and national attention that Clark had delivered week after week. The big question loomed: could the WNBA's expectations and momentum truly be sustained by Reese's star power alone?
Data to confirm exactly what we've been saying, that Caitlin Clark is driving this whole ship, this whole bus. She's driving it. Everybody else get in the back.
However, the data quickly painted a troubling picture. All eyes were on Angel Reese once Caitlin Clark left the court, and the pressure was immense. This was Reese's chance to prove she could generate the same excitement, drive ticket sales, and command the spotlight with equal ferocity, but the market responded with a brutally clear message: she hadn't. Take the eagerly anticipated United Center matchup between the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever, meant to be a historic showdown, and a declaration that women's basketball had finally arrived on a grand scale. Once Clark was sidelined, demand for tickets plummeted, the excitement vanished almost overnight, and the enormous arena felt far too large for the event. The trend wasn't limited to just one night either. Even other high-profile games, like the showdown between the Fever and the Washington Mystics, suffered similar declines. Although Reese was heavily promoted as the main attraction, the numbers spoke for themselves. A $41 ticket fell 47% to just $22. Even in markets where she had strong connections and headline billing, the anticipated surge in fan enthusiasm never fully materialized. In short, Reese's presence alone wasn't enough to ignite the same level of excitement and momentum that Clark had consistently produced.
Marquee matchup in the WNBA. Like it or love it, rivalry or not, Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, that is the marquee matchup in the WNBA, and those tickets are crashing just as well. From $86 48 hours ago to $25. And by the time June 7th rolls around, it might cost you a bag of Skittles and some Lay's potato chips to get in there.
Then came an uneasy silence following Caitlin Clark's absence. Angel Reese, known for her bold personality and confidence in the attention she draws, was unusually quiet as ticket sales dropped and fan engagement sharply declined. League insiders and fans alike noticed the shift and grew concerned. Was Reese deliberately keeping quiet to avoid difficult questions, or did her silence reveal the immense weight of expectations she was now carrying? The pressure was enormous, and even a star of her stature appeared overwhelmed. Reese had been thrust into a position where she was expected to fill Clark's shoes and shoulder the league's financial and cultural momentum, but the numbers were clear. She couldn't do it alone. The stark contrast between her celebrity and her ability to consistently drive ticket sales compared to Clark was undeniable, creating a challenging reality that Reese and the league would have to confront head-on.